Hello.
Hey, how you feeling today?
Hi, everyone. I'm great. Thank you.
Good.
How
Are you enjoying the hot weather? I was getting a little moist outside. It was wet.
You know, I actually laid out and got a tan. So
I need like a little personal
needed it.
fan with me. Yeah, it's a little too messy for me. We got the fan on us right now, so we doing great. But we want to first say thank you for taking the time, out of your schedule to join us today on a season finale. This is special for us for different reasons, but having you here is even better. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, look, before we get into our interview today, I want to ask you about your Mother's Day. So today's show is kind of like a tribute to mothers, and we know about what our friends did and stuff, but we want to know what you did. Like, how did you enjoy your Mother's Day?
Well, so a few years ago, my cousin and I, who are both mothers, we decided we didn't want to spend our Mother's Day with our kids. So we decided that it would just be she and I and then our mothers, so my mother and my aunt, who would get together and we would just treat ourselves. I mean, because my cousin and I are the younger ones, we would pay for everything. But, we would go out to eat, we would go to a spa, and we would just spend the day, like, amongst the mothers. And so that's what our tradition usually is. Unfortunately, my aunt now is in an assisted living home, so I spent my Mother's Day, the four of us spent our Mother's Day at the assisted living home. And so
that was very nice of you.
Traditions up.
Yeah.
But so now I'm like, you know what? Next year I need my spa treatment again. I'm going back to the spa.
You're right. I need them feet rubbed and them shoulders rubbed down all the way. Right. Well, that's nice, and I'm sure she really appreciated that you guys came and visited her. I mean, that's beautiful. I admire you for that. So, awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's hard, even though I am a mother, I still have a mother, and I have, an aunt that is a motherly figure, and so it's like Mother's Day for me is kind of like it's kind of tricky because I'm not off the hook. I got to take care of my mom and
Now, speaking of mother, so you are a mother of two beautiful boys, Corey and Carter. Oh my God, I think they're like what, both 7 and 8 years old? Am I correct, or am I about a year behind?
So, well, they're 18 months apart. So Corey is 9 and Carter is 7.5.
Okay, so wow. So they seem very energetic, very fun. Like, how would you describe them on like a normal day, or even like on a weekend? You'd be in a house and they just be, they be running around here, turned up. Yeah.
I mean, they're very energetic. They love to play sports. They love to wrestle. They love to fight. But they're a lot of fun. They're also very loving, and so it kind of makes up for like the frustration. Like, I mean, they definitely drive me crazy sometimes, but because they're so loving, it makes up for it. So, but they're really great kids. Like, when my kids were like really young and they were super wild, and I was like complaining, and they were like, look, at least they're not sitting there, just staring at the wall. And I was like, you know what, that's a good point. So,
exactly right. You got to keep them busy. That's right.
Yeah, so they stay busy, and they're into sports. So like pretty much every day of the week, I'm in a basketball gym or
But that must be fun for you because your whole family background pretty much is in that industry, so you're used to that. And you were playing basketball yourself, right? From what I heard.
Well, I played through high school, and I was decent. I just wasn't, I didn't work hard enough to try to play in college or anything like that. But basketball is definitely a huge part of our family. I love basketball. My kids love basketball. Of course, their dad played basketball.
Definitely.
And so I don't mind, watching them play basketball every night. I enjoy it. So I'd rather do that than to be, running the streets. So.
Right, and it's weird. Don't laugh at me, and y'all, my co-hosts, don't laugh at me either. I don't even know the rules of basketball. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm more of like a tennis player. I love tennis.
I love tennis too.
I can get down on the court.
Tennis is cute. I like their little clothes, but don't ask me no rules.
Yeah.
I just love the ball and that's it.
I know, like, love is one of the anyway, I just like to play for fun. But that's what, girl, don't, now look, I don't know. We're not supposed to be here for sports, but I don't really.
You're hitting the ball over the fence and all that, okay.
Yes, I be whipping them balls. They be going everywhere. I be like, oop, I made it.
Okay.
So I'm talking about tennis balls, y'all. Okay, anyways. Robyn had she knew what I was talking about. Okay, look, we about to get right into it. Look, the Real Housewives of Potomac. Yeah. Now, we are in season 2 currently on Bravo. Season 2. And I'm very excited because I was concerned at first. I was worried that y'all weren't, not in a bad way, but I was worried, like, are they going to come back for a season 2? Because there's a break in between. Yeah. They're doing other series as well. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I know one of the producers that does the Real Housewives of Dallas in Atlanta. So I was like trying to ask him, like, do you know if Potomac is coming back? And he was like, well, I can't really say nothing. I'm like, come on now. I know you on a personal level. Yeah. Just tell me. I know you.
Come on.
I know.
So yeah, I'm excited that you guys are back.
You were curious. We were getting scared because we filmed last year, like May through July. Right. And like time went on, and we're like, hello, like what's going on? Like,
are you gonna air all this footage? Right.
Yeah, like because the year before they had announced this like in November. Right. And we were like, okay, like really starting to get worried. So. Right. But the thing is, like, they just pushed our premiere date back. Yeah. For good reasons. They explained that. They, just based on what they had seen of the show and the episodes, the network really felt strongly about the show, and they felt that we could stand alone at that 8:00 Sunday night time slot. So that's why they put us on later during the Atlanta season. So now this Sunday we're coming on at 8. We don't have Atlanta leading us in, and hopefully everyone that tuned in, the weeks before, hopefully they'll turn right back on, despite Atlanta not being on. So.
No, absolutely. And I feel like, they have their own twists and turns. They threw Monique into the stirring pot, if you will, who's definitely adding a little bit of her own, spice to the situation, I'll say. And, I think people have different opinions of Monique, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Of course.
To each their own. But give us some of, like, the highlight moments, maybe some of the challenging moments that you're able to talk about that you experienced so far between, like, a recap of season 1 and season 2 so far.
Oh, wow. It's hard to just, like, pick one highlight or one challenging moment. It's definitely, for me, like, just like talking about my relationship so much is not fun. I don't really enjoy doing that. Right. But because I'm on a television show, that's what they do. So
exactly. Oh yeah. They have it set for you. Yeah. They know what they want you to talk about.
Exactly. And so it was. It wasn't, and it also wasn't fun because Juan doesn't enjoy filming, so it's really hard to like really tell our story without him being a willing participant to tell it, because he just doesn't enjoy the process of filming. So he's just trying to avoid the camera all the time, and so it just becomes a little more confusing to really explain our story.
It's almost intimidating. It's almost. So I have a question, as you just mentioned that kind of off the record. So, like, so far we watched season 2. There was 2 or 3 events that he came to with you so far from what we've seen. I'm sure there might be more in the upcoming season. Would you say more or less like those events were where kind of production stepped in to ask him to participate, or was that like he was willing to because he wanted to be there for you for support?
Well, he wants to. I mean, he's not going to do something because production asked him to. Like, if you know what I'm saying? Like, so he willingly came with me to those events, just kind of as my my +1 or whatever. But there were a lot of other things that production has asked him to do or has requested. And, he'll decline for whatever reason. The other thing, he's not really interested in, like, participating in any drama amongst the ladies. So if he senses that there's, like, something going on, which is one of the reasons why at Monique's house, like, I said nothing to him, and I said nothing to Ashley's because I didn't want to draw any attention to the situation and, like, run him away.
Exactly.
He's from Baltimore, and he has a quick temper, and I didn't want him to
half the co-hosts around this table are from Baltimore, and we have a quick temper, so we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm from Baltimore, too, so
I
didn't want him to have to pull his quick temper out either. Right. I'm trying to...
You're trying to keep it maintained, trying to hold him down. I understand. Look, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but he would much rather film if it was, something with our children or, just he doesn't really like having to interact with the other folks. So.
Yeah. Okay, so aside from the drama and everything, what is one of your most memorable moments that happened behind the scenes or that didn't make it on the final footage of the show? It could be fun, it could be sad, it could be dumb, it could be...
Not dumb, no.
So, we film so much, and a lot of it doesn't get included, and particularly this year, they showed like a 5-second clip of this event that I did for my hairstylist. My hairstylist launched a wig line, and I helped her throw this amazing party. I mean, it was like the venue was awesome. We had a full runway show. Like it was a big production, and the fact that only 5 seconds made it on the show, you probably didn't even realize what you were looking at.
Right.
Like really. It really disappointed me. And,
absolutely. Because you put your time and effort into that. Like, that's your production.
I put my time and effort. It's part of, it showed me working and doing and doing what I do. It also, would have showcased my hairstylist and her talent.
Absolutely.
It was just visually, like, amazing.
If I got this good wig on, somebody going to see this thing.
I hear that. That's what I'm saying. And that's the thing is, like, when you have your heart into something and you want to do something outside the show that you want to show people how you're involved in the community, which is what we're going to get into in a little bit. Like, you want to be able to really broadcast that because it's not just about the platform of the show. Granted, that's why you're on the show, but it's not just about that. It's about your life, and this is your real life. So I feel like more should have been included. Absolutely. I feel for you for that.
Yeah.
Hey, Robyn, it's an honor.
That happens.
I have a question for you. First, I just want to say you are gorgeous.
You are.
Thank you.
Can I have your left eyeball?
Just the left one.
The left one.
No, on both.
Just the left one.
Just the left one. Yes, absolutely stunning. So my question for you is, outside of filming and production, which girl do you speak to the most or hang out with?
Giselle. Giselle and I probably speak on the phone like once or twice a week. We're actually going to dinner this Friday with Kenya from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's coming in town, and we reached out and was like, we'd never met. We actually, sad to say, the housewives from the different franchises don't really interact much. And maybe that's just towards us because we're like the newbies, and they're all like, "Where's Potomac?" You know what I mean? Like, so we don't really get that much love from the other franchises. So when we heard that Kenya was coming to town, I said, well, let us extend the courtesy and just invite her to dinner, and she accepted.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, and so when I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, who am I going to take from Potomac?
Well, Giselle's perfect, yeah. I can see Giselle and Kenya getting along very well because they both have very strong personalities.
Yeah.
I can see them getting along. No, do you think that the franchise doesn't communicate together very well because you are a newer series in season 2? Or do you think it's just because they're just, maybe it's the same question, but not quite familiar with you ladies yet?
Probably, probably just, they're not familiar with us. I feel like, okay, we're in season 2, that's great. I feel like people still kind of have to, like, figure us out and see, if they, are these girls here to stay, or how do they really feel about us?
Yeah.
But it's also nothing that, like, Bravo has not in any way tried to like cultivate relationships amongst the housewives. So it's like really like we're all on a like little show by ourselves. It's not the network doesn't really cultivate relationships that much. So I figure we should just take them in our own hands.
So Robyn, on the flip side of that question, who do you connect with the least and why?
This is what I really want to know right now. I need to know this. I can take a guess. Can I take a guess?
Please, yes.
I'm gonna say between 2 girls, and I don't know if it's more than one. I'm gonna say Monique, and I'm gonna say Ashley.
Okay. Definitely, I would say Ashley. Monique probably. Well, it's hard because I would give it to to Karen as well. Monique, Karen, and Ashley.
Okay.
Karen, just because I think she's ridiculous, and so like we will like I'm like always like just laughing at her, like okay, whatever.
Right.
And it gets on, and it drives her crazy that I don't take her seriously.
Right. But you know what?
But Karen's actually very sweet, so I'll let her. She's all right. She gets a pass.
Okay.
But,
well, I'm gonna say that's half the cast right there. Now hold up.
I know.
You only got a few left.
Right? So I'm like, But so Monique is cool. She's very sweet. My no, I would say I'll just say Ashley.
Okay.
Monique's cool, and she has a husband, and her husband and Juan, they're, athletes, and so
right.
they hit it off, and Monique is a mother, and so we can kind of at least have that in common, and just being like the wife or ex-wife of an athlete, that's a whole nother different thing.
Right.
Monique loses me when she just starts talking. Like, I'm like, that scene where she was talking, like, it's non-stop.
I was going to say, because you know how sometimes they edit it to make it look like it went on for a long time, but it probably was the real deal.
Oh, no. It is, like, it's bad, and it continues, and I have to see at some point during the season, and I don't know if they'll show this part or what, but I tell her, like, look, you talk way too much. And so I think someone, like, I don't know if it's a producer, they were like, oh, my God, that was so mean. I was like, I'm sorry, but I can't take it.
I would be like,
that's
that's
nice
what y'all want. That's what I would have said. That's what y'all want.
I would be like, can you please just shut up?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it depends on it. Was it nice? Was it a nice delivery, or was it like a girl just shut the up?
I was like, for real, like, I'm over it.
Nice.
Okay, well, that's not bad then. That's a good way to do it. Well, this is like the perfect transition to get into two specific questions that have to do with the episodes that have aired so far the past couple weeks. Let's get right into Miss Karen. Miss Karen. At the hot tea event that was at the Willards, you were all sitting around welcoming Monique, and she decided to bring the cat out the bag and judge your loyalty to Charisse and Giselle. And I was like, well, no, why would she do that? So I'm just curious, like, how did you feel? What was your initial reaction, like, when she approached that situation like that?
I mean, I was, like, so shocked. I was shocked and confused, and I was like, okay, what part of, like, grown woman business does this woman not understand? Like, everything I said to her, I said to Giselle, and a lot of it, like, they don't show my whole conversation with Giselle. Like, I said even more to Giselle. Like, I almost went in on her because I really thought that she was wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that Karen couldn't quite understand that I can have an opinion about my friend's behavior and have to question my loyalty, like, I just was like, okay, you just clearly don't have any friends. Yeah. Like, I would do that to any of my friends. I'm going to keep it real with them. I'm going to tell them when they're wrong. Right. And if Karen is inviting me to her house to talk about the situation and how can we, make amends and bring these women together, well, I'm not going to sit there and play dumb. Like, I'm going to tell you how I feel about the situation.
Right, hello?
So, yeah, right, exactly. So I was just like perplexed. I was like, this woman clearly don't have no friends, because she would understand that this is what friends do. They keep it real with each other. So
exactly.
And then, of course, my other thought is like, oh, she's just trying to put herself up in the mix and the drama, and she's trying to, just kind of.
Yeah, we all got that moment where we try to shift the light over to our center stage. I get that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
My turn.
It's like, no, wait a minute. It's my turn now.
Right. Let me move that light right back over top of me. Hold up now.
Right.
So let's get into Ashley though. So I will say this. I've actually met Ashley before at an event in DC, but she's definitely young. She's definitely like fresh energy, interesting personality. But I feel like I can't quite. You know more Ashley than I do, obviously. So I can't quite determine if she's really this. Can I use the word messy of a person? I hate to say that about her, but is she really this messy stirring the pot, or is it more like she's being influenced to be that quote-unquote character, if you will?
Right, exactly. And that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really think about it, like, because I feel like that's a lot of people's perception. Like, they're confused. They're like, okay, like, is she really this messy? Because they see this alternate personality that's so, bubbly and, hi, guys, and, like, just whatever, and then she flips it and acts a fool for no reason. And
that's crazy.
so I believe that if cameras weren't around, that she would not do 1/10 of the things that she does. That's questionable. But it still makes me question, who is she really? Like, because
that's what I'm saying.
In my, I'm on a show. I got stuff I can talk about, about other people on the show. But if I think it's not the time or place to do it in front of a camera, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain things that, I know I'm on a show. I know we're here to be full of drama and all that type of stuff. But I know there's a time and place to talk about certain things. And throwing stuff on camera just to be doing it doesn't make you an okay person if you wouldn't do it off camera. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, especially because of some of the stuff that she is going around saying to people that, in my mind, it's like, okay, let's focus on your relationship yourself. Don't be focusing on mine, because this is not for you to depict and talk about, first of all. And that's how I be feeling. Like, Robyn, I have your back. I'd be watching the show, screaming at my TV, throwing stuff at it, and I think I cracked my screen even one time because I began so mad. I'd be like, "Come on now, you ain't really had to do all that. That's being so messy."
Oh my God.
Right, exactly. And I think she's okay with being that messy person, and I mean, that's fine. If you're like, okay, I'm making a TV show, I don't have a problem being messy, but you gotta really, like, who are you in real life? That makes me question, like, okay, this little smile and this little chipper personality, like, is this real? Or, like, if I was one of her, like, girlfriends, like, real homegirls, I think watching this show would make me question, like, okay, who is my friend?
Right. Now, that's loyalty right there. Like, are you really my friend? Because you got some issues going on. So you actually just moved, you and Juan just moved recently out of Potomac. So I just want to know, and I'm going to keep it very brief because I know, the show itself already puts that platform with you and Juan, so I don't want to get into anything uncomfortable, so I'm going to keep it very brief for you, Robyn. Like, how are things in general going with you with the move with Juan and the kids, and then how are your kids, like, adjusting with school and, like, new friends and stuff?
Right. So the move has been, I mean, it's a little challenging at first, just the stress of moving and all of that is always very challenging, but we've been here now, it's probably like a year and a half we've been.
Oh, okay.
We've been here, and so we've adjusted, and just even like being able to have that time to adjust and settle, and then Juan's been able to settle in his career. Now kind of gives us, like, takes that stress off of our plate. So we're able now, even though it doesn't look like it on the show, now we're able to, like, really just kind of hang out and spend time together and just support each other without having the stress, the outside stress of thinking about moving and what's next, and we can focus on, lighter things. And
exactly. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so things are good, and it's good. We've been through a lot. Like, we really don't touch on, like, everything that has gone on in our history and stuff, but we've been through so much, and so for us to be able to support each other, despite going through things, like, I think it really helps strengthen our bond, regardless of whether it's, like, romantic or not.
Exactly. And that's all that matters. Honestly, that's all that matters.
Thank you for sharing, Robyn.
I love it.
If you could describe your casting process in 3 words for the show, what would they be? 3 words only.
Oh, that's a good one.
Jeez, casting process. I don't know if I could do that. Surreal.
One sentence.
Oh, yeah, or if in, like, one sentence, like, how you felt throughout the casting process from, like, beginning to end. Yeah.
Well, I mean, surreal. The whole time it was very surreal to me, because I felt like, okay, is this really happening? Like, and every step of the way, I didn't think it was happening. Like, I was like, oh, whatever, they're not going to pick me. And then when they picked me and they sent a contract, and I was like, oh, whatever, it's still not ever going to happen. Like, I would just say disbelief, and not in a way where I was, like, super excited. I was just kind of, like, in denial that it would happen. So I'll say surreal, disbelief, and denial.
Wow.
Because
are those your 3 words?
Yeah, that sounds like 3 words to me.
Disbelief and denial.
Those are good. Those are actually very strong words. Yeah.
Or were they sub-words?
But denial was a good one.
Yeah.
Why denial?
Because I just really didn't think, like, when they first reached out to me, and they got to me through Giselle and Sharice. So Giselle and Sharice had already been involved in the casting process. And when they first reached out to me, I was like, it wasn't a Housewives show yet, but it was a Bravo. They said it was a show for Bravo, a Housewives-like show for Bravo.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
My first words to the casting director was, look, I'm not living that life. Like we kind of struggling. We've been through some things, and we're trying to like work our way back up. So I'm not living that life because just, watching those shows, I know they like to show, the wealth and the big cars and all that type of stuff. And so from the jump, I in my mind, I wasn't auditioning or trying to be on the show. Like I already just like ruled myself out.
Right.
And then. And then they kind of like kept talking to me, and every step of the way, I was just like in denial. I was like, why do they want to talk to me? Like, why are they in my house? Why are they, why am I doing this?
How many Skype interviews did you have? Because I've been through the casting process for different shows, and sometimes you just go through the casting person, then the producer, then the EP, then I'll be like, look, y'all do one big Skype interview and call it a day. Like, I'm tired of meeting y'all on camera.
Right. And then, the other thing is I had been through a casting process for another Bravo show like a few years before, and it was a dead end. And so I think I just anticipated that it would be another dead end because I've seen people get so excited, that, oh, my God, I'm going to be on this show, and they get so pumped up, and they tell everybody, and then the show never happens.
Yep.
And so that's probably why I say denial. Like, I really did not get excited about it until the day they called and told us, and this is after I filmed it and everything. Like, because even filming a show, you can sit and film a whole season and it still might not make it to air.
Yeah, that's
so.
True. How long did the casting process take you?
Huh?
How long did the casting process take?
So I want to say it was like October of 2014 when it started, and then we began filming in May.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I think they sent us contracts, though, by January.
Got it.
Right.
So October, let me see, I think we probably filmed between October and December. December, like, nothing really happens because of the holidays. So, like, October, November, we filmed a couple separate times. Right. And then by January, they sent us contracts. And I still, even having a contract, I didn't, I'm like, okay, whatever. Right. I didn't tell anybody, just the people real in my very close everyday circle.
Yeah. Well, contracts can be pulled at any time, so it doesn't mean it's in stone yet. It just means they're interested in you, but anything could happen in pre-production. You never know.
Robyn, it seems like you have a lot of knowledge. Like, what would you recommend to others who are interested in trying out for reality TV?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's important to have whatever the show might be. If it's a show about a cast of people, a group of people, like, it's important for that group of people to actually know each other and to have real relationships and friendships, because that's what the networks are looking for, authenticity in the relationship.
Absolutely.
So,
right.
Whatever, if you're trying to do a show about home design, well, you might want to grab a friend or two and pitch it as a group thing, because they like to have, it's like power in numbers and friendships and all that type of stuff. So, and honestly, be yourself, because when people are faking it, it comes through. So,
that's a very good point, though. I think that you have a stronger connection when you're with somebody. So if you're able to do that and have that platform alongside a good friend, and y'all both showing your personalities, that's what they look for. Something dynamic, something unique, something that other people do not see currently on TV. That's what they're looking for.
Right. Absolutely.
And I've been working with producers for, I don't even know, since 20 years old, for about 8 years now, 9 years. So, like, I can tell you what they're looking for. I can tell you what they're looking for. But yeah, my question, we kind of got into it. But this is kind of general. So kind of like a multiple choice. You can choose whichever one you like. The entire process of filming, what would you say is like most exhausting or challenging between the following three options? So one, we have obviously you attending the many different events with all the girls. 2, you have like the setup, the post-production moments, the filming schedules, going through all that, the breaks in between. And then the third one, which is one that I can attest to because this got on my nerves when I did my show, the one-on-one interview you have on camera when they be having you sit with that light in your face, look at the light, and talk for like 2 hours. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out. So what do you think is like the most exhausting of the process?
Oh my God, the whole freaking process. But
right. All three, right?
Right, all three. But if I had to pick one, gosh, it's hard because like those interviews, and for us, I mean, they're like all day. We're starting at hair and makeup at 8, and we're finishing at 6, and sometimes we've gone longer. And my problem is that I sometimes forget what happened, So
right. And they be telling you to talk in a certain way, like something already happened, and they be like, well, act like it hasn't happened yet and say it this way. I be like, well, come on, you're confusing me now because it already happened yesterday. Now what do you...
Exactly, right.
So I understand.
Speak it in the present and, don't speak in the past, speak in the present.
Exactly.
So, yeah, those days are exhausting. But, I mean, honestly, balancing, like... I would say the second option, just the whole process of
post-production,
the scheduling and dealing with the producers, and because there's like, not that like what we film is not our real life, but we still have our everyday real life. Like I still got to take my kids to whatever basketball game every single day.
Exactly.
Just because they're not filming it doesn't mean that I don't do it.
Right.
And, if I'm filming something earlier in the day, well, now I gotta work my filming schedule into my, everyday errands and laundry, and like I don't have help at home. I don't have housekeepers and nannies and all that type of stuff. So for me, it's like I gotta hang out with the ladies and do this and do that and follow all the storylines, and then I also gotta live my everyday life. So that becomes very, very hard. And I really didn't have an appreciation for what people like reality stars or whatever until I did it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is not easy at all.
No, absolutely. And you're right though, you being like the caretaker of the home, cooking and cleaning and all that, and then you got 2 kids running around, like that's not easy. That's not easy. So we only have a few more questions for you. We actually going to kick it off to Tay to ask the last few questions, and this kind of gets more into your involvement in the area and the DMV. So I'm going to kick it off to my little co-host over here. Ooh. Are you okay, Tay? She's glowing. She's glowing today. Now she's pressed. Look, just like a panini.
Okay, well, like a panini. Okay, how involved are you in the community with events, charities, etc., and why do you feel like it's important for others to get involved?
So I'm involved. Like I like to get involved more on a more hands-on level, and I try, because I am from Baltimore. I try to devote more of my time to Baltimore causes. So I'm very involved with like the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization.
Nice.
I have a couple other smaller organizations that I like to support, and then I like to just interact with people more on like a human level. So I'm not into like just going to every little charity gala and ball and just going just to like show up for a picture and stuff. Like I'll spend my time doing.
You actually participate. Now you have to let us know when you're in Baltimore, because I actually do a lot of volunteering in the area, especially Baltimore and DC. I'm surprised we haven't run across each other before.
And I be at the casino,
especially at entertainment events. So I'm definitely surprised. So
at the casino,
girl, I ain't doing nothing in that place.
I don't know anything about what I'm doing. But
no, and don't go to the Horseshoe. It's very hood.
I've been to the Horseshoe, but you got to go like in the morning. You can't go
before the creeps come out.
You got to go before 10 o'clock.
Before 10 o'clock. Yeah, just a little bit of vodka and orange juice.
Yes.
Who goes gambling at 10 o'clock in the morning?
Don't ask any questions.
A lot of people.
Don't ask no questions. It's a bunch of old people, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, Robyn, what about the real estate industry in Baltimore? How's that? Is it popular or whatever?
Into that,
Yeah, so it's really, so what I'm doing, I'm really excited about, because in the past I always had the misperception that, like, in order to get into real estate investing, you gotta, like, put a lot of money out. And I was never really, actually, I mean, I have lost a lot of money in some real estate investments, and so, but I wasn't, like, properly informed. And so what I'm doing, I'm doing some real estate investing, but I'm doing it on a different level where, like, you don't really have to use your own capital to find the properties and to flip them and to find an investor for them. And so I'm really excited about it. I've already kind of, actually I go to closing on my first deal tomorrow.
Oh, that's
what?
Yeah. And it's more, I mean, it takes a lot of work. You got to really, like, work it and finesse it and do your research and devote time to it. But there's a lot of money that you can earn if you just have the right resources.
Right. And so this Saturday you actually have an event in Clinton, Maryland. So and I want you to actually shout out your social media handles, because that's where I'm on right now while I'm talking to you. I'm looking at
set out.
Yeah, girl.
What'd you say?
Shout out your set, your social media.
She's from DC. Look, we from Baltimore.
Right, I still need help understanding the DC accent.
Okay, right. Although I am from DC myself, but I got a little twang to me, so
a little bit.
People say I'm country,
I don't know where people think I'm from. They're like, you sound like you're from the South. I'm like,
right. I'll be like, no, I'm just used to talking to people the way I want to talk to people. Maybe it's my hood accent. You don't know. Hello. Anyways, so yes, your social media. We got you on, absolutely got you on Instagram, but also give out your Twitter, your Instagram name, and if you have a Facebook as well, so your fans can follow you.
Absolutely. So Instagram, I am Robyn Dixon 10, and Robyn is with a Y.
Yes.
And then Twitter is Robyn Dixon RHOP, and Facebook is Robyn Dixon RHOP.
Okay. Make sure y'all follow Robyn, because she has a.
I'm already following you.
I am
Me
too.
too.
Well,
I'm gonna get that left eyeball watch.
She gonna get that left eyeball. Well, if you gonna give him up, I'll take the right one and shoot. We can't have a big Fetty Wap over here. We need both eyes out. We need both eyes out. So I got the right, you got the left.
Yes.
No, thank you so much for joining us today. We had a lot of fun. We really enjoyed this interview.
We
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you all asking me, and anytime in the future, just let me know. Well, you said it's your season finale, so I don't know when y'all come back on.
We come back in June, a couple weeks. Yep, come back in June.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it.
And you never know, we might be doing an event somewhere in Baltimore, for the show, we might film it live, so hopefully we can run into you and participate in volunteering together. That would be great. Everyone make sure you tune in to the Real Housewives of Potomac on Bravo every Sunday now at 8 o'clock p.m. So it's not too late to tune in. Don't be falling asleep now. Hello.
Y'all be up.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
Talking to you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.